Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. We're joined by Subboor Ahmed.
And I was talking about scrolling, and I happened to be
So
not scrolling but using my phone.
we did a video on his channel. We're going to do another version on my channel. I think it's a very important topic. I know Subboor's been going on about this for a while. Was it the zombie scrolling? Yeah. What does zombie scrolling mean?
Zombie scrolling is where you are scrolling without intent, going from one image, one video to another. You are simply in this dopamine triggering positive feedback loop, and you are wasting countless time in that zombie mode because you have no will at that point to stop and say, what the hell am I doing? Why am I going from watching a video of a cute cat to another video of someone whatever? It's just
what is the problem? Why is it such a big issue, bro?
Number one, I'm going to talk about myself.
Yeah.
Because one thing I want to clarify is I'm trying to fight zombie scrolling, but that doesn't mean I've overcome zombie scrolling, and it doesn't mean that it's easy for me either. So I noticed it's something I was doing, and it's something that I was doing without thinking that I'm doing it. So what I would find myself is, it's almost like you're sleepwalking and then you wake up in a position and you're like, how did I end up in this park? So no, seriously, I remember I was scrolling and I stopped and I said, why am I scrolling? Number one. Two, I had something to do, but I ended up scrolling. I don't remember consciously starting the scrolling process. And I don't remember a lot of what I did. What I do remember is a point at which I'm like, how did I waste so much time? How did I get here? And it happens so many times. Randomly, you wake up in the morning and sometimes you start scrolling. Sometimes in the evening, sometimes you're with people. And then especially if you're on the train, and then I started realizing, wait, this is a huge problem. And when I looked into it, we do on average about 300 feet worth of scrolling a day. That's the size of the iPhone.
Wow, 300 feet.
That's the size of the Statue of Liberty. Right? We are killing our focus. We are there's a book actually on this, Stealing Our Focus, and I was recently going through the audio version of that. It's very interesting stuff about the whole industry behind this type of thing. But it's not only is it stealing our focus, it's destroying our willpower, our ability to do something more meaningful. It's killing time with family. It's generally making you here's a sort of example. You go to the gym, you work out, and you get the good chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, and all of that. Or you are, you're eating a piece of fruit, and from that fruit you're getting sugar, and therefore you're getting the happy sensations. But you're putting in work to get something, whether it's it's mealtime, therefore you're getting it, or it's basically you're at the gym, or you finish reading a book, so then you feel good. Instead of the hard work plus the reward, the scrolling means reward, reward, reward. So your biochemistry is getting affected. Your cognitive architecture is being tuned for failure. You are basically linking reward to no work. You're linking reward to scrolling, as opposed to reward being linked to hard work. So then when you're trying to get the dopamine, because without dopamine you're not going to do anything, right? So you're not going to find it easy to read a book now, because you have to work very hard to get that.
Yeah.
When with scrolling, you'll be like, oh, and that's why whenever this happens, by the way, whenever you get stuck, and you'll realize this, you're trying to do a hard task, rather than smashing through, rather than driving through and saying either we find a way or make a way, what you do is say, oh, I'll take a break, and you start scrolling.
Yeah.
It's the easy way out. It's an addiction. It's destroying your life. And it would be amazing. It would be absolutely amazing if we can have this journey together where we collectively think about how do we fight this. And to fight this, you have to first diagnose it. And which is what?
So it's almost like a drug, basically, right? But it's interesting.
It is a drug.
What link does... I'm just thinking, because dopamine is triggered via doing things that are pleasurable, right? Normally speaking.
No. Okay. So dopamine is there to lead you to something that you believe will give you pleasure.
So how does that link to scrolling? Why does scrolling become a part of this? How does it work?
Okay, so you scroll because you anticipate reward. You anticipate something you're going to see that you're going to like.
Okay.
Yeah? But the scrolling and the constant dopamine spike. It's like this, right? So one of the reasons people get fat is because throughout the day they keep spiking the insulin. They eat again, they eat again, they eat again, they keep eating, and they just keep spiking the insulin until they get diabetes because they got insulin resistance.
Yeah.
Same thing with dopamine. You're not releasing it gradually. You're not, doing hard work and then getting that. Instead, you're just smashing your body with again. And what's happening is, like anything, like sugar will cause you to have diabetes, excessive amount of scrolling, excessive amount, it could be any addiction, but just talking about scrolling for now, it actually hurts the receptors. It damages the receptors which is producing that hormone. So your actual brain is being damaged.
That's interesting. So it's like dopamine resistance, basically.
Yeah.
And then inevitably you're going to get depression.
Of course you're going to get
flatlining your dopamine, basically.
Perfect. Flatlining your dopamine. I didn't think of it in those terms, but that's exactly what you're doing. Because then, like, I haven't scrolled today. Actually, no, I did scroll, but I haven't scrolled that much. Now, if I go to do mindful scrolling right now, I'll enjoy it. But if I'm in a loop of constantly scrolling, my dopamine levels will be a lot more lower, and I won't get the same enjoyment. Same thing. You fast throughout the day, you have a meal, it feels great. It feels like there's this energy going into your body and you have this explosion of taste and all of that. If you're eating the entire day, if you're locked up in a buffet eating, it's a chore.
Yeah.
You're really not really enjoying it, but you get some little bit of pleasure out of it, but it's not. Same thing. So discipline. Dopamine, constant triggering of dopamine through scrolling destroys your discipline. Destroying your discipline would mean it's time for salah and you're like, oh, you carry on scrolling, or I'll pray later.
Yeah.
Everything will get affected. Your work life, your health life, and everything.
Yeah, anxiety, all of these things. But yeah, it's a big problem. So what are the solutions, bro? Give us a quick solution
First
list.
thing is mindfulness. Mindfulness, right? Which is, if you don't diagnose something, you can't fix it. So we're diagnosing it. We're looking at it. We're realizing you and I, everybody suffers from it. Awareness of that itself is a big prevention of of stopping the scrolling behavior. So, for example, since I had a scrolling problem for quite some time, but when I started talking about it, then when I found myself scrolling, I stopped scrolling because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm telling people not to scroll.
Yeah.
Why am I scrolling?
Why are you doing it yourself?
And even if nobody sees you, your own internal thing is like, no, fight it. It's evil. I know it's evil. And the reminder benefits the believer, well, actually, that's from a spiritual perspective, but the reminder benefits the human from the perspective that you're constantly being, it's like a cigarette packet. You buy cigarettes and you see, oh, cancer, skin conditions, it constantly in your face. Same thing with scrolling. You are reminded again and again that it's destroying your receptors.
Yeah.
It's causing you to lose your focus and not have willpower.
But people still do it, and this is the thing I mentioned in your video, which is it's fear. I believe a lot of it's fear of the unknown. Fearing what may happen if you stop scrolling. How you may go into a depression or feel sad or have nothing.
You're missing
to do.
out. FOMO.
You're missing out. Yeah, it's fear. It's fear, and fear. We shouldn't let fear drive us. Don't be cowards. Be courageous. Inshallah.
One more thing. Yes, absolutely, you're right. One more thing. I helped myself get over scrolling by walking. Because you can't. It hurts your neck. If you're trying to walk and scroll, you'll walk into a lamppost. You'll walk into the road. Your neck starts hurting with your phone's out. So you put your phone back in.
Yeah, look at the world around you, man.
Look at the world around you.
It's not that bad still. There's some beautiful things to see out there.
It's even better to sit down and watch a video for an hour on YouTube than scroll for an hour. It's a million times better. Because at least you're doing something, right? And walking is a great activity as well, where you can listen to podcasts, or even you can not even listen to anything. And sometimes it's good to just let your brain sort of flow and stuff, right? But the main thing is we need to talk about it, because it is a pandemic, and I don't think there's enough people talking about it. And I'm trying to look into the science of it, because I think the science of it is going to give us. It's just like this: the science of the release of insulin and insulin resistance and leptin levels and all these things, ghrelin, the hunger hormone, all this stuff will help people lose weight because they understand how their body works
They
now.
understand the mechanics of
The
it.
mechanics
so
of
that's
it.
the starting point.
Why am I hungry? I'm not hungry because there's really a deficiency in terms of my nutrients. I'm actually hungry because ghrelin is released, which is a hunger hormone. And the reason ghrelin is released is because every day I eat at this time, or somebody said they're ordering pizza, so ghrelin was released. Sometimes ghrelin is released, not sometimes, a lot of the times it's released when it's not the fact that you're hungry. Like as in you have a deficiency in nutrients. You're hungry because ghrelin is released because of timing, or psychologically you're thinking about somebody ordered food, or it could be something else. And so it's so important to understand the science behind scrolling in order to escape scrolling.
It's a nice t-shirt, mashallah.
It is indeed.
You got one of those little minivans?
I don't, but this is something that me and you need to get one and
go into the forest, bro, basically.
Travel across Europe, give dawah,
Yes.
And when you give dawah, you open the back door, chuck the new Muslim in, and take them with you.
Yep. And chuck you out at the same time. Anyway, jazakallah khair, bro. Assalamu alaikum.